Hey guys, we are back. So we're going to dive into chapter 1 of POP, the power of partnerships. Um, so I might let Tisha read a little bit. You want me to start?
Sure.
All right. So I'm going to start chapter 1. They lied to you. The foundation. Partnerships are the key to success. All right. Don't ever call me a self-made man. That gives the wrong impression. That we can do it alone. None of us can. The whole concept of the self-made man or woman is a myth. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Many entrepreneurs probably grew up just like me. I was the kid who didn't like to ask for help, always trying to do things by myself, the independent type. No, mom, I can walk across the street without holding your hand. No, mom, I can tie my own shoes. I grew up with that do-it-yourself attitude, the kind that made me want to figure things out on my own. That independent streak followed me into my adulthood, shaping the way I approach business and entrepreneurship. Early in my career, I attempted many times to build businesses from the ground up, relying on my own drive, creativity, and work ethic. I took pride in being self-sufficient, believing that success came from personal hustle and relentless effort. However, along my entrepreneurial journey, I was introduced to the power of partnerships, not by choice at first, but by life and death necessity. I began to see how collaboration could accelerate success, how the most successful entrepreneurs didn't do it alone, and how the do-it-yourself mindset that so many people, including me, had been taught, and it was a myth. Over time, I embraced partnerships and leveraged them to build multiple successful businesses across different industries. I learned the right collaborations could help me scale, reduce risk, and create win-win opportunities. My career was proof that partnerships worked. But when I decided to enter the world of real estate, I made a critical mistake. I ignored everything that I had learned. I had already managed large-scale projects across various industries and was looking for something a little less ambitious, something I could do stress-free in my spare time leading into my retirement years. I assumed that real estate was different from my norm, that it was something I could manage alone. Unlike my past ventures, which required networking, team building, and collaboration, I thought real estate, especially a small single-family home flipping investment business, was simple, straightforward, low touch, with passive income. Buy a property, you fix it up, you rent it, you sell it, and repeat. I convinced myself that building partnerships for something so small was unnecessary, overkill even. And I'm sure you already know I was wrong. Even as a kid, I had aspirations of owning land and properties. When I was just a small boy, we would take trips from Philly to New Jersey to visit family. I remember riding in the back seat of my parents' car, stretching my little neck just above the door to see out the window, riding through the city, gazing at the tall skyscrapers as we crossed the Ben Franklin Bridge. I would say to myself, that's my office building. That's my office right there on the corner, I'd say. That's my house as we drove past mansion-like houses in the suburbs. In New Jersey, there was open land and forest as far as my little wide eyes could see. That's my land. That's my farm. And those are my horses over there. Somehow, the little boy inside me always knew I would end up in real estate one day. So, fast forward now as an adult, I have the resources, management skills, and the appetite to transition into a slower, simpler lifestyle of a real estate investor. Right? Super naive I was. I jumped out there on my own and purchased my first real estate deal, looking to build a sustainable real estate portfolio that will allow me to spend my days at the beach, sailing, fishing, all while collecting passive income from renters. Easy peasy, right?
No brainer.
So I thought, but it was a complete and utter disaster. I'm gonna let Tisha finish.
I'm still laughing at disaster.
Disaster.
I bought my first investment property online at auction.com. The bank, from the bank that had foreclosed on it. They had advertised it as a 3-bedroom single family home. After the sale and clean out, I discovered, to my surprise, that the house only had 2 bedrooms. To make things worse, the construction rehab lender failed to disclose that the first draw of money to start the renovation had to come out of my own pocket and that I would be reimbursed from the loan after the work was completed. Let me put this another way. I would need to use my own money to start the work while paying interest-only payments on a construction loan that I had not received yet. Crazy, right?
Bonkers.
Insanity. I would have loved to know that in advance. Shaking my daggone head. He didn't say that. No. As if that wasn't bad enough, I spent weeks arguing with my contractor friend over the cost of the renovation because he had agreed to one price, then raised it after he started the work. Typical. I finally agreed to pay him the new price to get the project going. He quit a week later with little to no work completed and kept my money. I should have known better, but here I was, the independent do-it-yourself entrepreneur, low on money in the bank, and with no way to finish the first phase of work. I had no construction knowledge or skill, and my contractor stole the money and ran. I had no investment finance experience, so I trusted a loan officer who didn't care because he had charged me a bunch of points on the loan, got paid, and kept it moving. My real estate agent friend was too busy selling houses to be too concerned with my problems, so I was on my own. To make matters worse, amid it all, my wife had just lost her dream 6-figure job and was shocked, emotionally devastated. She was, Jesus, and depressed. I'm never there. I was there. We eventually got evicted from our home, and both of our cars were in threat of repossession. Reflection.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
Crazy.
With both of our tails between our legs, we had to move into a tiny room at my father-in-law's house, pretending it was by choice instead of necessity. In a small, dim-lit, windowless, closet-like room in my father-in-law's basement, I carved out a little space for an office and a place to figure a way out of the mess we were in. I was lost and felt defeated by the mountain once again. The mountain was a menacing force, a cruel gatekeeper standing between me and success, glaring down with a smug smirk, mocking every misstep and stumble as I clawed my way upward, refusing to let me win. I reluctantly called one of my mentors to get some advice and see how he was doing. Embarrassed by my situation, I lied and told him my project was going excellently and moving along according to plan. He sounded surprised, but congratulated me. He laughed and told me how his first few deals were a hot mess. It caused him to change how he invests in real estate today. I was shocked, but a bit relieved. I asked what happened in his first few deals, and to my surprise, many aspects of his story were the same as mine. He told me how he overcame them and how he wasn't worried about real estate failure since. He explained that he treats the contractors on his projects as partners and that they get the bulk of their money after the exit of the property, eliminating the likelihood of them abandoning a job or doing subpar work. In fact, they take more pride and ownership of the project, he said. He also told me that even the real estate agents that help him buy, sell, and rent his properties have a vested interest in his investments, which means they have something to lose or gain in his deals, creating the perfect win-win partnerships. He also told me that now he uses a mix of money partners available through creative financing sources, private money, credit cards, and lines of credit instead of 100% personal cash and lender financing. So he has less personal skin in the game, more flexibility to focus on, and invest in multiple deals at one time. Feeling like an idiot, I hung up the phone. I realized that I had betrayed my own damn rules because I assumed small operations wouldn't require such partnerships. I had to rethink and restart my first investment project. I thought long and hard about the key people I needed for the project. I drafted a proposal for a new contractor, new real estate salesperson, and a few small investors to financially support the restart of the project. In the end, we finally sold the property, made some money, and the rebirth of partnership thinking and strategy was born.
Was born. Wow, that was crazy.
I'm having PTSD.
All right, I will continue our reading. But we will. Anything you wanted to touch on before I start?
Did you say that contractor was a friend?
Yeah, yep, the first contractor was unfortunately.
Yeah, yeah. So if you had to, I know we just learned something in this space, but just digging a little bit into what I just read, would you say anything? Would you do anything different in terms of that contractor friend? Did the friend part have anything to do with the trajectory of the project or the relationship to the project? I guess essentially, would you do business with friends?
Oh, absolutely. So, you can't have one bad experience and then blame it on everybody that's your friend, right? You know, if you get hit by a white car at a traffic light, you're gonna run from every white car you see. So, of course not. That experience was just what it just was what it was. He was who he was as a human being, and that's really it had more to do with that than um, the decision to work with him. So one thing I could say about partnerships, we're all going to have bad relationships because it's just a human thing, right? You have bad relationships with friends, you have bad relationships even in your own family. Sometimes you have bad relationships in your work or at school or in your career. In any way, there's human beings. There's going to be good and bad relationships. Unfortunately, you kind of have to go through the numbers to weed out, the bad apples from the good ones, and that's just with life. So I say that to say, don't be discouraged if you have problems with people or you have a bad experience with somebody, a friend, stranger, family. Um, you know, it doesn't matter. It's a human thing, and it's just a process we all kind of got to go through.
Understood, understood. I'm glad that I was led to bring that up because some people get get get
Caught up.
stung
Yeah.
by a relationship or a partnership, and then they're just banned,
Right.
or they are so cautious that they miss maybe a good relationship blessing, for whatever the task or project is. So I'm glad to have touched on your thoughts moving forward, and if that had any kind of impactful um, space as you continue.
Yeah. Nah, you're gonna run through it, and it doesn't matter if it's business, personal, whatever, any aspect of your life. Unfortunately, where there's human beings, there's drama. But there's also blessings, and you got to work through, both sides of the scale to get some sort of balance and make it through this world.
Dope, dope.
So I'm gonna dive into a little bit more of the reading. Now my excitement was high. I started researching real estate partnerships, joint venture deals, syndication deals, and more. I started having conversations with realtors, property managers, lenders, contractors, and other successful real estate investors. Before that time, I never knew they would even consider such arrangements. What I quickly learned was that what made these types of partnerships appealing was the opportunity for repeat business, continuous, almost unlimited work, and a chance to sometimes make even more money as a stakeholder than a vendor. This all too familiar concept of partnerships is what helped take me from doing one deal at a time to doing 10 to 15 projects simultaneously. It took me from being stressed all day about one investment property to sleeping peacefully at night while working on several projects at a time. I reached out to other investors to see if they were interested in doing joint venture partnerships deals with me. I learned that many new investors were having difficulties getting their first deal done, let alone getting one completed successfully without stress and financial worry. In many cases, I was told that my JV partnership offer was a prayer answered. In just the past few years, I partnered with countless other investors from across the country to invest in small multiple single family homes in Philadelphia and New Jersey, all the way to a 240 unit, $57 million commercial residential property in Vancouver, Washington. I was so excited about what I learned that I began helping other real estate investors get started with this new partnership frame of mind. I helped Melissa Moy of Moy Properties Please LLC successfully launch her first real estate project. Makiko Poi and Nathaniel Pyfrom of Poi from Enterprises get started on their first real estate deal. And Antoinette Porter of Melanin Kingdom LLC secure her first real estate venture, just to name a few. After reintroducing and reapplying partnerships into real estate, I went from being a one-man band, do-it-yourself strategist to leveraging the power of partnerships. I now run my company as a team, with a team, and we partner to do millions of dollars in real estate. What's even cooler than that is that I sent my wife to real estate school, retired her from her 9 to 5. She became my full-time partner, and I promised her she would never have to take a job again.
She in the park, y'all. Working, but working for herself.
Yeah. I know what you're thinking. This is great information, Tony, but what do those partnership principles, how do they apply to my business? Or do they apply to my business? I answer that with a capital yes. At the beginning of this book, I explained that I'm a serial entrepreneur and I have projects across multiple industries. And I use these exact strategies and tactics in everything I do in life, from business to personal. The power of partnerships is not just a strategy or a weapon or a tool for success, it's a way of life. It's a better way to engage with the world we live in. In this book, I share countless examples, success stories, and testimonies along my frameworks, along with my frameworks for you to use in your business endeavors and to help you change your life forever. So we'll stop there. And and then in the next video, dive in a little deeper. So this was just a sample of some excerpts from chapter 1. They lied to you. So, yeah, that's what it is. But I would like everybody. First, I want to thank everybody who has clicked the link, who has pledged to get a book, pre-order a book, autographed personally by me, um, as well as any of the other extra perks and packages that are on our Kickstarter pre-order campaign. But I want to thank everybody who has already contributed and became a partner, because this book isn't just about me, it's about us, it's about all of us, just as pieces or chains of a link tying together to really to grow this and start a movement and to really start to change the mindset of the world. We're on a mission, and again, we're on a mission to spread unity, collaboration, and oneness, and to really help all of us understand that we're better together than we are apart. We can get more done as a unit, and everybody can eat. And you don't have to know it all. You don't have to do it all. Whatever your weekend, you build a partnership with somebody who has a strength in that thing. And no one has all strength. We all have ebbs and flows and weaknesses, and you just need to learn to fill the gaps in between to create success for yourself and your family. So click the link, pop the power of partnerships. Let's do it.
And just to explain a little bit of the pledge and the tiers and such, there is some suggested laid out tier pledge amounts. Again, there's also a space for you to pledge whatever you can. So please don't feel like you have to pledge per the tiers. The tiers just have small rewards or trinkets, the book, the signing, the autographs, and things like that. Some of them have passes for the launch party and such. But there will be something for everyone that has clicked the button, whether it is $1 all the way up to whatever, again, you feel compelled to pledge. So I just wanted to make sure that we highlight every dollar is a push towards this message getting to the world, us as a people. We have to start to trust again. We have to trust each other. We have to be the change and stop all of this. Let's be the change. This is a changing type moment. This is a train that you can jump on and help us lead others into the space, into this mindset of being unbreakable together. Now, you keep hearing me say that. I know you've heard that. It's one of the names of the songs on the soundtrack. An amazing song. It has an amazing message. And it is, I believe, the first single? No, We're the Dreamers.
We're the Dreamers is the first single.
Okay.
Chapter
So
1.
Unbreakable Together is coming. I'm not sure if it's going to be the second, third, fourth single. However, you will hear that title again, but it is the essence.
Actually, Unbreakable Together is out now, streaming on all platforms. That was a single that I actually got to record with my oldest son, Justice, aka 9 Seasons. So, yeah, so that's out. Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube.
All streaming platforms.
All streaming platforms. It's out there. Look for Tony Pitts, and you'll see the song Unbreakable Together. We have Through the Storm. And we have Together. What we got?
There's 3 singles out.
Yeah, Through the Storm.
But once you hit whatever streaming platform that you go to and type in Tony Pitts, it will come up. Now, Tony Pitts probably will look a little different, but it's him. It's him.
Yeah. I have my alter ego up, so you'll see my space mask. You notice all my shirts have some sort of space astronaut theme. And we'll get into what that's about. But if you know me, I'm off the planet.
Another point of direction on the pledge website is there's a mixtape compilation that Tony shared, which features it's about 5 minutes, that features a few of the songs along the way, and the way that he put it together, I thought was pretty dope. He's a creative guy, y'all. So we implore you to pledge. Time is of the essence. This campaign is just a 30-day campaign to push pre-sales for the upcoming book, Pop, Power of Partnerships, dropping in September. That is the goal of the publisher, and that is what we're trying to stick to with your help. So thank you again.
Yeah, and it's one of a kind. No, it's a one of a kind book.
Hey, Mar.
Because again, I mean, the music is fused in the pages of the book. It has a soundtrack in it, so it's a very visceral experience to read the book. So make sure you get it. Love, appreciation, thanks for the support, and see you on the next video.
Weight of the world is on our shoulders. When shadows appear, we conquer the fear. Through the fire we climb, our hands intertwined. Together we shine, like the stars in the sky. Together we're unbreakable. We rise above the fight. Unity ignite, hearts beating as one. We overcome, together we build. Holding on, together we're stronger. Feel the power.